Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my friend, Barak Hermann. He's the CEO and president of the JCC Association of North America. He gets Z3 in his bones. His mom is Israeli. His dad's a Reform rabbi. And he's going to share with us his vision for the movement and how Z3 plays a role in it. Please give it up for Barak Hermann.
Good afternoon, everybody. All right, let's get a little more ruach. Good afternoon, everybody. Wow. Sometimes I could pull a Zach Bodner and walk the stage, but I'm going to be a little bit more formal today because really my heart is just overly, really full. Just that we are all together here. Over 1,500 people, united in purpose and passion. And may we all say as loudly as we can, Am Yisrael Chai. I'm going to start with a question. What do you do when something you love deeply challenges you or even may disappoint you? We see this in our own families, our own personal relationships, maybe at work, and maybe at times with our beautiful state of Israel. I am so beyond honored to be the president and CEO of the JCC Movement at this moment. And I have said to my peers, funders, and board members, there might not be a greater honor than to be a Jewish leader at this moment. I have always believed after 30-something years, 32 years, of working in JCCs across the Northeast, that JCCs should be microcosms of Israel, representing everything that is beautiful about the Jewish state, the diversity of our people, the richness of our culture, a place where Jews and people of all faiths come together, governed by Jewish values. And wow, does the Ashman JCC embody this vision brilliantly? Let's give a big hand to this community. And thank you to my dear friend Zach and to Sally for your leadership and vision, and thank you for even entrusting me, Zach, with the microphone. To Rabbi Amitai, Dror, and the entire Ashman JCC and Z3 team. Yasher Koach, you brought us the weather, the environment, but it's the neshama of this campus as I walk through it, filled with Israel and Jewish quotes. May I say to all of you, Chaval Azman, which means fantastic and awesome. Yasher Koach on your leadership, Zach. So here's what I know in my bones. JCCs are not just community centers, we are the bridge. JCCs are the living connections between North American Jews and Israel across North America. We are the place where Israel becomes real, tangible, and accessible. Not just from an idea, but from an experience. From Shachim to Shishanim to Hatikva, sung daily in our day and resident camps, and that programs that fill our souls with Jewish joy and connection. Now more than ever, we need unity, and we need to be in Achdut. We are one people, and now more than ever, JCCs across North America are going to always create safe and secure spaces to strengthen our Jewish community. As a proudly Zionistic movement, JCCs have an extraordinary opportunity and responsibility. To my JCC leaders out there, friends, funders, and believers, we are the architects of that future. But I'm concerned. I am concerned, as you are, about young people today. I am a father of 3 sons, 26, 23, and 19, all committed to Israel. But I hear from them what their peers are saying. The recent mayoral election in New York reportedly decided by young people should concern us all. Many young Jews today are expressing some profound disappointment with Israel. They see policies that conflict with their values. They might see a gap between Israel of their childhood education and the Israel that they encounter as adults. Many are asking, is this still my story? Is this still my people's project? Yes, it is. And I can understand their disappointment because it's their perspective. However, it comes from a deep place of caring. You can only be disappointed by something you deeply want to believe in. And this is precisely why our JCCs become essential. We are the safe space where questions can be asked, where complexity can be explored, and where connection can be rebuilt. And that's what we're doing today at Z3. But here's the critical question. What are we going to do to help these young people with their disappointment? So let's go back in time. Not so far, not the Bible. 100 years ago, many young Jews stood at a remarkably similar crossroads. It was 1920. World War I had ended, leaving Europe in ruins. Pogroms swept through Eastern Europe. The promise of an emancipation had proven hollow. And so thousands of young Jews made a big radical choice. They left everything behind, got on boats, and went to Palestine. These were the Chalutzim, the pioneers of the first, second, and third Aliyah. These young people were idealists and dreamers. Many came from actually very comfortable homes. They could have stayed in Europe, Poland, Austria, and others. They could have assimilated, and they could have hoped for better days. But instead, these young people chose the hardest path to come to Israel, drain the swamps, build kibbutzim, to create a modern Jewish society from scratch. But here's what we often forget. These young Zionists, they were deeply disappointed too at times. They were disappointed that Europe had betrayed them and the cities they loved. They were disappointed with religious establishments they felt had kept Jews passive. They were disappointed with Zionist leadership that they thought was not moving fast enough, and we need to move fast. These young people argued fiercely about what kind of society were they going to build. Does that sound familiar for the young people today? But they didn't walk away. These young Chalutzim built institutions. They created infrastructure. They built a country. They became the foundation. This is my Saba Dov and my Safta Yona. I've never put their picture up on a screen like this. They arrived in 1923 from Poland and Austria, secular Jews fleeing anti-Semitism after World War I. They are Chalutzim, who came to Palestine controlled by the British. And I'm so proud that they were part of the third Aliyah in 1923. My Saba drained the swamps of the Hula Valley. My Safta was a Hebrew teacher, helping the Chalutzim find a common language when they spoke so many different voices. This is the Nesher Cement Factory. My Saba was part of the executive management team who built this factory to build the modern state of Israel in 1925. My uncle Eliyahu and my cousin Boaz worked there for 83 years. How do you build a country, a Jewish home, without cement? My heart breaks when I see that cement attacked. Here are my grandparents, with my two uncles and my beautiful mother, Chayuta, in her Israeli Navy uniform. One uncle worked at the Nesher and never left town. The other was a captain in the Israeli Navy at age 18. All of their memories are a blessing. I am a grandson of these Chalutzim, the grandson of young people who over 100 years ago had the courage, the ruach, the chutzpah to make a difference. I am filled with gratitude because who knows where my family would be today if these young people didn't go for it. Like so many of yours, much of our family has perished in the Holocaust. The Chalutzim, like my Saba and Savta of 1923, did not accept the status quo. They didn't wait for permission. They showed up. They took responsibility. They said, Im lo, akshav emaitai, if not now, when? They didn't love everything about the Zionist empire. They fought bitterly about its direction. But the Chalutzim, they embodied the values of the Labor Party that I grew up with in my home. They built anyway. They created labor Zionism, the Kibbutz movement, Hebrew University, and yes, the Nesher Cement Factory. I am so honored to do what I do now and know that my Saba and Savta, my Ima and Abba, would be proud of the responsibility I feel and that I feel about all of you as well. Today, you as JCC leaders are the modern Chalutzim. You are building the infrastructure of the Jewish connection in America. You are all creating the spaces where young Jews can wrestle with their identity, explore their heritage, feel the beauty of being Jewish, and find their place in this wonderful Jewish story. Just as my grandparents, who built with cement and sweat, you are building with programs and partnerships, with shachim who bring Israel to life, with cultural events that make our heritage vibrant, with Israel missions that transform abstract concepts into lived experiences. You are all the hope. You are that bridge. You are the answer to the question, how do we keep young Jews feeling connected to Israel? The answer is you. Through JCCs that refuse to shy away from complexity, through leaders that create brave spaces for honest conversation like we're having today, through institutions that say, come as you are, question what you need to question, and let's build something together. We must empower you to do this work boldly, to bring Israeli culture, people, the shachim to our communities, to double down over the next 5 years getting people back to Israel. Jews, non-Jews, anyone, because feeling that love of our land creates the true mifgash, the true connection. My friends, JCCs are uniquely positioned to welcome everyone into the tent, just as Abraham welcomed in the stranger. You can inspire people of all faiths to understand what a beautiful religion we are, our values, and our mitzvot. We were instructed by God to be a light unto the nations, and JCCs embody that mission every single day. The Hebrew word aliyah means going up. It means to ascend, to elevate. For the Chalutzim, like my Saba and Savta, it meant physically going up to the land. But aliyah has always been more than just geography. It's about rising to meet a challenge. 100 years ago, young Jews didn't accept the world as it was. They changed it. They gave us the gift of Jewish sovereignty after 2,000 years. And now it's our turn again. JCC leaders, funders, synagogue leaders, rabbis, all of us, you are the builders of this generation. Young Jews, you are the future we're building it for. The question isn't whether Israel is perfect. It's not. And never will be, just like our own families. But the question is, will we show up to help shape what Israel becomes? And yes, we will, as what we feel today and embody at Z3. The Chalutzim of 1923 chose to build. Now it's our responsibility to build it back again. Together we'll say, Am Yisrael Chai.